Well, welcome back to Painting with Riffsley. Well, it's been a year, so this is the next lot. I thought I'd change things a bit. Don't know what. Painting on the road to Jindy, as it said there. I thought I'd try some different approaches using a tri-palette here, 3 colours. Phthalo green, quinacridone, magenta and cadmium orange. I was going to experiment with those 3 colours plus black and white. Very bright, very colourful. Completely ignoring the photograph at this stage of Jindy that I'm using. It was a very monotone photograph and I just wanted to explore the colours here. I was loving the brightness of them, the pureness of the colour. Side of the road, the little bank there, a couple of little posts, the road winding back up the hill in the distance, the misty hills with a cloud sitting low on the horizon. Those colours really work well together, so I'm going to continue working with these limited palettes. Don't know how often I'll post. Still got another month of lockdown here in Sydney. I'll keep painting. I'll push this picture around a fair bit. But, you know, kind of changed it a fair bit. I wanted to change the composition and then I don't think I'd really worked out what I was going to do with those colours. Really need to have a plan when you start a painting. It's easier. You don't have to. A lot of people don't have any plan and just fill it out. But it's a lot easier if you have a plan and you know what you're working towards. The only plan I had was just limiting myself to these 3 colours that were very complementary. But I got a little bit frustrated with the whole painting, as you can see. I'm changing it a fair bit. And then in a bit of a fit, I just maybe pushed it a bit too far. Purple and green, orange. Oh, look at that bright purple and orange. Was a bit too much there. Get a bit carried away when I'm painting and I just keep painting and making decisions and painting and painting. Sometimes you do something, you can destroy the picture. You make a big mistake, or you just get a bit crazy. You think, oh no, I'm going to change that sky, I'm going to make it red, and just before you know it, it's like, oh God, what have I done? Completely changed it, destroyed it. And here I have painted right over the picture. I thought I'm just going to knock that back a little bit, make it a bit more misty in the background. Change that. I didn't like that orange I'd put in the sky. I painted over that, and then just kind of kept bringing it down a little bit. I thought, oh, I can rub it back, wipe it off. So I brought it down, and in the end I just painted over the whole thing. When bugger it, I'll start again. So I went right over it, then I had that nice soft misty look. So I drew back in, changed the composition, made the trees bigger, the tree area bigger, and the shadow. I brought that roadside bank up on the left. I'm drawing back into what I've got there with just straight black in a kind of pen and ink style. Probably be better with something like a pen, because like some of those telegraph poles are a bit wonky. They should have been a little thinner and a little more straight. Reminds me of some of the really expressive Lloyd Rees pen and ink drawings. They just do a smear of ink and you could just see the rock and a bit of a gully. So that's just the black. Now I've actually mixed up the same cadmium orange, magenta, and the phthalo green with the black and white. So I made a grey and tinted it. And I like that. I thought that worked really well. I may work back into this later with some of that pure colour in some carefully selected areas. We'll see. And I should maybe knock those hills, distant hills, back a bit, closer in tone to the sky, fade it out. But no, it's different and I like it better now. I like the muted tones much better. So I've re-established the image. I've corrected the proportions, moved the trees up on the right. Now I'm adding a little bit of colour back into it again. Bit of mist, and bring the sunlight through the trees down that hill, putting details into the right bank. I have to got rid of the telegraph poles, so I put those back in, make them a little more straight this time. That's the light coming through the trees. It's on a hill, those trees. Need to get the hill underneath those trees. There's a little bit of light shining around behind the trees. It's coming around the corner there, the top of the road, top of that mound on the left where they've built the road up, cut the road through the hill there. There's a fence runs along the top and then down the ridge. So I put the fence back in, some rocks and shadows. I've drawn a lot of this painting in with black, which is something I try to avoid using loads of black. I'd rather use the colours, dark colours. But lots of black, lots of white in the end. There's more black. Add some greys. I just saw it change colour then, so turn the light on, turn the light off, something's happened. I came back hours later and the light's changed in the room. See, it's got a bit of a glare on it. Road to Jindy, not sure about whereabouts that is. Adding the cloud in and drawing in the fence. Look, I'm keeping them straight, using T-square, using the mail stick. Adding colour back in here. Little flecks of colour in the front. I've changed the colour of the hills in the background to green. I'm going to change that to a lighter colour. It's still too dark. Push it back a little bit more. Actually, I'll change it to blue after this. There goes the blue hills, and I'll lighten up those bright green ones there in the mid-ground. I'll lighten those up so that whole section gets pushed back. And thanks for coming back and watching Painting with Riffsley again. I'll keep painting as long as we're in lockdown. I hope you enjoyed this one. Road to Jindy. See you next time.